Hello, this is day 3 of 4.1, and today we're going to be graphing polynomial functions. So we're going to take everything that we've done in 4.1 and now pull it all together to graph. So analyzing the graph of a polynomial function. Now in the book for your homework, it will say look on page 181 and do the steps 1 through 5. So this is a summary if you want to take your book out right now and actually read. It's a table on the top of page 181 and read these steps. Now I've simplified them, and their steps, if you're reading them and looking at them, we know how to do them. Find the end behavior, determine that, we've done that. Find the x and y intercepts, you've done that. Zeros and the multiplicities, we've done that. We've talked about whether they touch or cross, have done that. Now, depending on what class you're in, one class I did talk about turning points and the other one I didn't, so we'll talk about that. So that's the only one we haven't discussed, and then we'll graph. Now, please remember, when it says x-intercepts and zeros, those are the same thing, people, same thing. So when they say x-intercepts, and then they say find the zeros, you already did it. You don't need to do it again. All right. And look at they use different terminology. It's so that you recognize that you know that. So let's try that with this. So read the directions. This comes from the book. I just want you to be very clear. Students always freak out because they're like, what's this page? And if you look at it, you'll realize it's everything that we've done. So I have my textbook out. You can hear that. And I have my steps open. Hopefully, so you should write them down, or you're going to have to look back and forth in your book so you remember. So step 1. Okay, let's find the degree. So we're looking at the exponents. There's a 2 here. There's a 1 there. I'm going to add them together. And so the degree is 3. Okay. And the end behavior, it's positive in here. And it's odd, so it is down, up. Okay. Okay, step 2. Find the x-intercept. Well, the y-intercepts are always easy. Remember how I told you at the very beginning? You're going to have to do it over and over again, and it's still the same. Let x equals 0. Now, it's a little bit different than this because it's not in standard form. So you actually have to put in 0. So you're going to do 0 minus 1 squared. 0 plus 3. So this is going to be 1 squared is 1 times 3 is 3. So the y-intercept is 0, 3. Now the x-intercepts, it's when the y, right, equals 0. And we've done this, right? So this is going to have to be 0. So this is the opposite, that's 1. What's the multiplicity? The multiplicity is 2 because of the exponent. And then here, to equal 0, it's going to be negative 3. That's a multiplicity of 1. Okay. Now your multiplicities have to add up to your degree originally. And do they? Yes. 2 plus 1 is 3. Okay. So step 3, determine the zeros. Oh, I just did that. So the x-intercepts were, I didn't write them as a point. So the x-intercepts you write as a point, so that would be 1, 0, and negative 3, 0. And here are my, so this is step 3 here. And you don't have to put the step 1, 2, 3. I'm just showing you so you know in your notes where that is. So multiplicity of 2, and okay, we've done that. It says talk about crossing or touch. So 2 is a touch or a bounce. 1 is across because it's odd, and 2 is even. All right, determine the turning point. Okay, this is what I did not talk about. The turning point equals degree minus 1, maximum amount of turning points. So 3 minus 1 is 2. Okay. And I'll show you that on the graph. And then we take all this. Step 5 is actually to graph it. All right, so we're going to take all our information. So I'm going to take my zeros first. So I have 1, 0, negative 3, 0, and I also had a y-intercept, 0, 3. Okay. Now I know. All right. Did I do that right? Okay. Yep. Okay. So here's the thing. People ask me, Ms. Mendoza, I'm not sure like when it turns or bends. That's a good point. So one of the steps in 5 and 4 said to do extra points. So if you want to take your calculator and you want to find h of negative 1 to see where that point is, you can. So I'm going to take a moment and say, hold on. Actually, I'll just do it on a piece of paper. Negative 1 minus 1 squared and negative 1 plus 3. Now, do you have to do this? Generally, the answer is no. Now, if I have a test, I want to make sure of things, I would say yes. And it is 8. Okay, negative 1 is 8. All right, so this is what we're going to do. So you're like, okay, Ms. Mendoza, I'm not sure. Now we look at the end behavior. So it tells you it starts from down. So we're going this way. I know the arrow goes down, but when you watch, you'll see. So at negative 3, I'm crossing. We said that here. So right now I'm coming down. I'm going up through there. I have to come up there. I must be bending somewhere because I want to come back down to hit here. Now, once we hit 1, it's going to touch or bounce, right? Here's right at 1. That's a multiplicity of 2, so it's going to touch. So it's going to go boonk, and there it goes. So you can see that the end behavior matches this end behavior. Let's talk about the turning points. Turning points is when you change directions in your graph. So this graph is increasing, but do you see here at this point, it turned. So it's one turning point, and then over here, second turning point. Now, class, I'm going to have to tell you the honest truth. This may or may not be a local max. It may be slightly a little bit more left, and you're like, Ms. Mendoza, well, how do you know? For what we do, you can't be sure. You need calculus to find that point. Okay. I am sure about 1, 0, because I know it bounced here. So I know that one definitely, but here I don't know that because it's not a 0. But it's just a sketch, so it's okay. All right. Let's try this one. Or if you want to pause and try this one on your own, go ahead. Okay, step 1, find the degree. So this is a 1, this is a 1, this is a 1, and there's 1s on the outside. So I'm going to say my degree, again, is 3. Now that's odd, right? So is it a positive or negative? Wait, I thought it was positive, but do you see that negative? So now that's going to switch it. That is now a down up. So we're going to start this way. Something's going to happen in the middle, and then we're going to go down. Okay. Then the next one is to find the x-intercept and the y-intercept. So I'm going to find the y-intercept first. So I'm going to put in 0, 0 plus 4, 0 minus 5. Okay, now remember, trick thing, we loved when we learned to multiply. That 0's on the outside, so we can just make everything 0. Yep, easy, easy. X-intercept. You're going to let that equal 0. Okay, so hopefully we know that, and we know this. And this is where some students get confused, which I don't understand. You're just saying that that's also equals 0. You're like, oh, but it's a negative on the outside. Well, you just divide by a -1. And since there's no such thing as -0, it's just 0. They're all a multiplicity of 1. Therefore, they all cross. So my x-intercepts are 0, 0, -4, 0. And I'm writing this as points because that'll just help me when I graph. Okay, I think I'm going to double check. Turning points. So because my degree is 3, I know my turning point is going to be 2. Okay, then I'm going to graph. So I have 0, 0, -4, and 5. All right, so we're starting up. Okay. And you're crossing. And this is where I say, when do you turn? Whenever you feel like it. Crossing, crossing down. And this is where you have to be okay with it. Now, because I just guessed, some of you may be higher, lower, that's fine. If you want to know more points, you can, like I did last time, put in more points to find the actual graph. But this is just a sketch. So our NB behavior and our zeros and your y-intercepts are the most important points. Okay, and there you are. One more. Okay, try that one. What's the degree? All right, I have 1s on the inside, so this is 0, and this is a 0. I'm sorry, that's a 2, and that's a 2, so that's a 4. Ooh, positive or negative? Okay, look in the front, positive. So it is an up, up. Whoop, whoop. All right, x-intercepts and y-intercepts, y-intercept. 0, -2 squared. Oops, sorry. Plus 1. Okay, so that's -2, parentheses squared, and 1 squared. 2 times 2 is 4. -2 times -2 is +4. Times 1 is 4. Okay. And then, where are we going? Sorry, got distracted. And x-intercept, so. Okay, and then what are we going to do? Okay, so this one is going to be x equals 2. This one's x equals that. It's a multiplicity of, what's the exponent? 2. This one is also a multiplicity of 2. So, cross or touch? Touch. Bouncy, bouncy. So my x-intercepts are 2, 0, and -1, 0. My turning point, 3. All right. So, oh, I forgot to write this as a point. 0, 4, 2, 0, -1, 0. All right. So my end behavior is up, up. So that means I'm starting up, going down. So I'm starting up, going down. Now we know it bounces, right? It touches, so it cannot cross here. Does not cross, can't cross. Touches, it goes up. I passed it, sure, because it didn't tell me it was the maximum. Blink. All right, there you are. So you can see the 3 turning points when it changes directions. 1, 2, 3. Now, class, again, yours might be more low, as long as it goes through the 4. Maybe you decide to go really higher up. That's fine. What I'm looking for again is the end behaviors and then your zeros on the bottom. Okay. And that's it. Until next time, class. Bye.